Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan, coming up in the next hour. Alright, we first bring you another episode of Pariksha Pe Charcha 2025. In this episode, renowned spiritual leader Sadhguru will share his wisdom on making learning playful and nurturing a balanced, vibrant mind. He will also provide guidance on staying calm and composed during exams.
How do I have that dare to take challenges in life?
हम इन दबावों का सामना कैसे कर सकते हैं?
कोई भी सक्सेस बिना फेलियर के कभी भी नहीं आती है।
To do your best, take adequate rest.
आपके सपने जो हैं वो आपके हैं, आपके बच्चों के नहीं हैं।
AI को मैं एज अ टूल काम में लूंगा।
Education is about giving you fundamentals.
एग्जाम जो है ये वन वे टिकट है, यहाँ से अभी हमको आगे ही बढ़ना है।
And most importantly, have fun.
वॉरियर बनोगे या वॉरियर बनोगे? वॉरियर! आपको तय करना होगा कि जीवन में सफल होना है कि किताबों से सफल होना है।
अपनी मेहनत से तू दुनिया को जीत ले।
आज का जो हमारा एपिसोड है, इस एपिसोड के गेस्ट बड़े कमाल के। उन्होंने पूरी दुनिया में एक बहुत कमाल का स्पिरिचुअल रेवोल्यूशन की शुरुआत की। अब वो बढ़ता चला जा रहा है। जब भारत में होड़ लगी हुई थी डॉक्टर और इंजीनियर बनने की, तो उन्होंने एक नया रास्ता दिखाया, इनर इंजीनियरिंग का। ये एक ऐसे स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर हैं जो स्पिरिचुअलिटी को आसान बना देते हैं, आज के जमाने का बना देते हैं। ये एक ऐसे योगी हैं जो योगा को कूल बना देते हैं, रिलेटेबल बना देते हैं। Boys and girls, join your hands together for the mystic, for the yogi, for the revolution we know as Sadhguru. Sadhguru, it's an honor to have you on Pariksha Pe Charcha 2025. This platform was conceptualized and created by our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. It's a platform where students get to interact directly with public personalities like you. Your thoughts on the platform?
This is really a fantastic effort. I think nowhere in the world has ever a world leader has shown such interest in our children, being concerned about the pressures that they're going through. I deeply appreciate that the Prime Minister is taking interest in the examination blues that some of them are having. So I came in blue today, that's why. I have no blues. So, I remember I used to volunteer in a pharmacy for about nearly 2 years. I found that during the examination time, we were stocking up a lot of Mexoform and Dipendol. These were the tablets at that time which were anti-diarrheal. So, massive amount, volumes of anti-diarrheal medicine was being sold during the exam, 10th standard and 12th standard examination, diarrhea.
So this was like a pattern?
Yes. You wouldn't believe this, all the pharmacies are stocking up extra stock because it'll all be sold. I hope you guys are not like that, no. So I was just thinking, what's happening? So this fear, we must understand this. How are we made? First of all, education is not about examination. Examination is just an evaluation to see whether you're fit enough to go to the next step or not. And education is about giving you access to life. Now you're sitting here, this lawn, this every blade of grass, you must wonder, why are they made like this? Why hasn't it decided to grow up like a coconut tree? Why is it only this much and doing what it's doing? What I'm telling you is, you must keep your intelligence in a dynamic mode. Doesn't matter what it is. There's a motorcycle here. It's not just about thinking, oh, I want to have one. That's not the point. How does it work? What is it? If you look at the grass, what is the biology of it? What is the physics of it? What is the chemistry of it? If you look at the motorcycle, what is the physics of it? What is the math of it? What is the chemistry of it which makes it go? Look at yourself, the same thing. You must keep your intelligence in a dynamic mode. It is not like when I study, I'm like this, rest of the time I'm like that. No. Life, you must be on. If you want to find access to life, because education is about giving you fundamentals which will give you access to life. When I say access to life, tomorrow whatever you may choose to do, whatever you may choose to do, you have to do it well. That means competence. If you have to be competent, you need access. To find access, there are many aspects to it. One important thing is, you have an active, dynamic intelligence. Don't ever think, am I as intelligent as this person or that person? There is no such thing. It's a farce that's been spread in the world. Everybody can sparkle and do things that others cannot imagine. Everybody. Only thing is, because there is no striving, that sparkle doesn't happen. Right now, what you call as school, what you call as education, what you call as examination is about that. The longing to know, making the miracle of your mind sparkle. When I say sparkle, there are a lot of studies which are brain mapping. There are a whole lot of studies in the world. At one time, I was engaged with this one scientist in Switzerland who is doing brain mapping, and I went there to see. He had mapped 17% and they're trying to imitate the brain in the computer form. And I went there 17% of the brain they said they have built with computers, capability of the brain. Like your sports hall, what is that, Vajra, is it? The Vajra hall, about 3/4 of that size, nearly about the same size, I would say. It's full, packed from floor to ceiling with computers. This is 17% of your brain. I said, I got it better packed here. This brain mapping is showing, if you think of a coconut tree, one part of your brain will flash. If you think of a mountain, something else will flash. If you think of mathematical numbers, something else will flash. Like this, they have something. But recent studies have shown, when people become very meditative, with Shambhavi, lot of studies have been done, you must look it up. With Shambhavi Mahamudra, they see large part of the brain is lit up. Not any particular thing, large part of the brain. This needs to happen, that everything is lit up. What you use is up to you. See, intelligence is not about usefulness. Intelligence creates profoundness of experience of life. The more you activate your intelligence, the more access you have into everything that you see. See, if your physical body is well exercised, you can function better than those who are not well exercised. Is that a fact?
Yeah.
Then why is that not true with your mental faculties? The more exercised they are, the better they function. Don't save it for future. If you save it, it'll vanish, all right? It's like a cloud. If it rains, it's good. If it doesn't, it'll go anyway.
Namaskaram Sadhguru. My name's Anavi, I'm in 10th grade. So, I feel like very stressed like about my boards and everything.
Boards?
But, yeah, boards, because I'm in 10th.
Boards,
Yeah.
okay.
But
You
I'm
mean
not-
your examination? This Pariksha Pe Charcha, board. I know what you're saying, but
I'm not able to like put that stress into action. Like I I have time, but instead of using that time to study, I like play something. And yeah, I don't know what to do about it.
If you're playing, you're not stressed, obviously. Can I tell them something, a very bad example?
No, sure, please.
It was just about 15-20 days for my 12th standard examination. And we have to get the hall ticket. It was a big deal because my kind doesn't know whether we'll get our hall ticket or not, because they're checking the attendance percentage. So, I went and got my hall ticket. That means for me, I have achieved. So we are standing in the bicycle stand and I'm talking to my friends and saying, in Mysore city I was a mango expert. Right from childhood I've explored which tree, where, how it tastes, everything. The Mysore surrounding geography, I know the mangoes through and through.
So you look at a mango, you know the tree?
No. If I look at the tree, I know the mango.
Okay.
So I know how it tastes, what it is, everything, because I've eaten from every tree. As now also, I don't see what is mine, what is not mine, then also I did not see what is mine and what is not mine. So I'm telling my friends, the university campus, there is the mangoes have all blossomed because first we eat the raw mango at different stages and then when it ripens, we eat it in different ways. Mango season is mango, all right? Then I was sitting on my bicycle and telling them, hey, come on, let's go. Then on the first floor is the headmaster's, the principal's office. So he's listening, we didn't realize. And then he comes to the window and shouts, the examination is just 15 days away and you're going for mangoes? Instinctively, I said this, sir, examination comes twice a year, mangoes come only once a year. I passed and went on, all right? So, because 15 days means I still don't even have my textbooks yet. I have to beg, borrow from somebody because I invested all that in something else. So I'm not being a nice example, but I'm just telling you that your textbook is not a challenge for your intelligence, no matter who you are. No matter you've not done well in the school till now, but still I'm telling you, for your intelligence, the textbook is not a challenge. You're unnecessarily making it difficult for yourself by approaching it in a certain way. Make your textbook itself into a play. Hello? Make it playful. Why can't you learn playfully? If you learn mangoes, you have to learn the biology of mangoes, isn't it? And everything. I'm saying, if you make it playful, your textbook is not a challenge.
Superb. Okay, next question.
I'm Siddharth of class 10 and my aim in upcoming 5 months is to score 495 marks in my exams. But I have some distractions that reduce my focus, that sometimes mobile phones, sometimes the social medias, and sometimes overthinking. So could you guide me to overcome from it?
Well, social media and that phone companion that you have a smartphone or a dumb phone? Smartphone. See, generally we call somebody smart only if we find them smarter than us. Hello? So you should have a phone which is smarter than you, it's not good. You should be smarter than the phone, then you decide how to use the phone. If the phone decides how it should be used, then it's too smart a phone for you. You must choose the dumb phone. About overthinking, see, my problem is, nobody in the world is thinking enough. They're not thinking enough. You must understand the difference between thinking, that means a conscious process of thought, isn't it?
Where you are in control.
a conscious process. Don't use the word control.
Okay.
Your thought must be liberated, not controlled. But a conscious process of thought is thinking. Having a mental diarrhea is not thinking. So make the distinction. Are your thoughts running away by themselves or are you thinking? If you're thinking, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Hello? People are always talking about overthinking. There is no such thing. You must think beyond everybody else. Hello? Only then you will do something worthwhile. Only if you think beyond everything that's happening right now, you will do something worthwhile, isn't it? If you think what you're thinking is overthinking, then you will try to cool it down because your machine is getting hot. Why is it getting hot? Friction. Why is friction? There's not enough lubrication. Right now any machine, this motorcycle is parked here, you take out the engine oil and ride it. In 3 minutes, this wonderful machine will be finished, yes or no? Same thing with you, no lubrication and you trying to use your mind, boom, it'll break. You call this stress, you call this anxiety, call it whatever, more and more names. The problem is, you don't know how to hold your mind. You don't know how to keep it in alignment. We were talking about geometry. Only what is geometrically well aligned will function smoothly. What is not well aligned will create friction, isn't it? Where there is friction, you lower the activity naturally. Anything which is frictious is stressful to operate. Anything that's frictious, you'll always try to save yourself. So for this we can do something very simple. The simple thing is just this, that what you call as my body and what you call as my mind, both are accumulations. Yes? You gathered them over a period of time. All the content of your mind you gathered, the content of your body you gathered from outside. Am I correct? What you have gathered can be yours, cannot be you, is it correct? Right now, if I try to hold this little vessel with my little finger, obviously it's going to crash. If I hold it this way, there is no problem in holding this. How you hold it is very important, isn't it? Anything that you gather, anything that's yours, that is useful to you, you must hold it right, only then it works for you. If you don't hold it right, then it doesn't work for you, it'll work against you. So, this process of overthinking or whatever you're calling it, there's no such thing as overthinking. Mind may be running away. Why is it running away? Simply because you must understand, you do not know the difference between your psychological process and yourself. There is no distinction between what you're doing and what you are. You're doing something, is thought what you're doing? Hello? Is thought a kind of action within you? You're doing the thought. If you're doing the thought, what you do and what you are are two separate things. That separation is not there. This is why meditation, the fundamental aspect of being meditative means it is a quality. Meditation is not an act, it's a quality. What is this quality? If you sit here, there is a little distance between you and your thought process, between you and your physiological process. So if you sit here, your body is not in the way, your mind is not in the way. The world, anyway, there is some distance, isn't it? With what you have distance, with that you have no problem. With phone also you must create some distance. See, if your hand starts jumping all over the place like this without your permission, looks like an ailment or no? Hello? Maybe Mr. Parkinson's is visiting you. If your mind is running all over the place without your permission, it's an ailment or no? So, this is very important that you don't make yourself, your body and mind unhealthy. It is unhealthy if it starts doing things that you don't want it to do. It must do what you want. This body should do what you want. Your mind should do what you want. For this, there is a simple process. It's called the miracle of mind. We will send you a link with which you can practice. Simple process, 7 minutes a day. Just 7 minutes a day, it'll do wonders to you. It'll bring that balance.
So, Sadhguru, now it's time for some techniques, some yoga masterclass from you for all the students who are right now tuned into this broadcast.
So this is a simple process which will create the distance between you and the body, and your psychological process and physiological process. If there's a little distance, you are free from those things. You can use the body, you can use the mind the way you want. So this is very important at this stage in your life. Examination, no examination, you must keep yourself in full vibrance. For this, there is a simple process. You know sound is a vibration, so we will use some basic sounds. Set some kind of a reminder and for 7 minutes, and 7 minutes. If you can do it twice a day, it'll be fantastic, at least once a day in the morning. Best done on empty stomach, but it doesn't matter, that you'll do these 3 sounds for 7 minutes. You will see a new resurgence of energy in the system, new level of vibrance in your body and your mind.
It was an absolute pleasure to have you on Pariksha Pe Charcha 2025, Sadhguru. Thank you for your wisdom.
Deeply appreciate this effort, well, but it's for the children to make use of it. Not only this, in whichever way, if you bring certain kind of yogic practices, simple things which will bring balance into body and mind, it'll do wonderful things, not just for the examination time. If you bring this into your life, it'll carry you through life without leaving a scratch upon you. Let's make it happen.
I hope इस एपिसोड से आपने बहुत कुछ सीखा। आपको अब सुपर पावर मिल चुकी है योगा और मेडिटेशन की, तो अब बस आपको अपनी एग्जाम्स की तैयारी करनी है, मुस्कुराते रहना, हंसते रहना है। As our PM sir says, laugh in, laugh out.
I learned that there's no point of being stressed. Don't worry about your future or what you're going to do or if you're going to fail. Just be in the moment and give your best. And I should also practice yoga just to keep my mind centered and just to keep it balanced and keep it going.
It has made my perspective on exams very different. Once I'm done, I can go back to studying with a fresh mind, a new look, a new approach to everything.
Thank you so much, Modi ji, because this initiative itself has given me a feeling that he takes our students also very importantly, and it makes us feel that, okay, studies is not too much, exams is not too much, it's just an obstacle and we shouldn't even consider it as an obstacle. It's really something that we should take lightly, enjoy, and nothing to be stressed about.
Alright, so that was an episode on Pariksha Pe Charcha, where renowned spiritual leader Sadhguru shared his wisdom on making learning playful and also provided guidance on staying calm and composed during examinations and how the students can get rid of examination blues. Moving on, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in New Delhi on Friday after successfully completing his two-nation visit to France and the United States. During his two-nation visit, the Prime Minister held productive talks with global leaders, reinforcing India's growing presence on the world stage. Prime Minister Modi called for India and France to be a force for global transformation during his France visit. He had also co-chaired the AI summit in Paris. PM Modi also held bilateral meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron in the port city of Marseille. A significant highlight of PM Modi's visit to the US was his meeting with US President Donald Trump, the first meeting of the two leaders after Trump assumed charge as the 47th US President on January 20th. PM Modi also met American officials where they set an ambitious trade goal of more than doubling bilateral trade to $500 billion US. The leaders pledged to boost defense technology cooperation in space, air, missile, maritime and undersea sectors. And Prime Minister Modi held a high-stake meeting with US President Donald Trump in Washington, D.C., focusing on strengthening trade, defense and strategic ties between the two nations. The visit highlighted their deepening partnership and mutual commitment to addressing global challenges. Here's more.
US President Donald Trump greeted India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi with a warm hug and a long handshake at the White House, calling him a great friend. The warmth extends beyond this meeting, reflecting increased trust and partnership in defense platforms. The leaders emphasized their strategic alignment and commitment to a dynamic defense partnership, announcing plans for a new 10-year US-India major defense partnership framework this year.
अमेरिका की महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका है। स्ट्रैटेजिक और ट्रस्टेड पार्टनर के नाते हम जॉइंट डेवलपमेंट, जॉइंट प्रोडक्शन और ट्रांसफर ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी की दिशा में सक्रिय रूप से आगे बढ़ रहे हैं।
The leaders pledged to boost defense technology cooperation in space, air, missile, maritime and undersea sectors. The US will review its policy on fifth-generation fighters and undersea systems for India.
In 2017, my administration revived and reinvigorated the Quad security partnership. In our meeting today, the Prime Minister and I reaffirmed that strong cooperation among the United States, India, Australia, and Japan. And it's crucial, really, to maintaining peace and prosperity, tranquility, even in the Indo-Pacific.
India's fifth-generation fighter jet, AMCA, will be operational by 2028, with the project director saying that India is progressing from 5 to 5+ to 6 at a rapid pace.
The stealth is being achieved by shaping number 1, supported by the radar-absorbing structures, for which a special materials have to be developed. That with the help of the DRDO labs and CSIR labs, indigenously we have developed it and we have achieved a high technology readiness level with those materials.
India also has offers from Russia for joint development of a fifth-generation fighter jet, and now the US has also offered its latest fighter jet to India. Experts see the US-India major defense partnership as a strategic facilitator within the Quad calculus, with Australia and Japan possessing these capabilities. China and Pakistan both possess stealth capabilities, with China providing stealth fighters to Pakistan.
रूस ने भी हमको Su-57 का ऑफर किया है और रूस ने ये भी कहा है कि वो तो हमको अपने देश में प्रोडक्शन भी करने देंगे। तो ये हालांकि एक बहुत वेलकम साइन है। हम अपना भी आमका एक तो इसको हमें स्पीड अप करना पड़ेगा।
The fifth-generation stealth fighter jet of the United States is one of the most advanced and versatile fighter jets in the world. It is an advanced, versatile jet with 3 variants for diverse military needs. The first, F-35A, which is for conventional takeoff and landing. The second is F-35B, which is used for short takeoff and vertical landing. And last but not least is the F-35C, which is a carrier-based variant designed for the US Navy. Key features include stealth technology that reduces radar signature for evading enemy detection, advanced sensors that fuse data from multiple sources for superior situational awareness. It also has the capability to conduct electronic warfare and intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities. India and the US have vowed to enhance military cooperation across all domains through improved training, exercises, and collaborations on futuristic technology. With inputs from Shubhendu Ghosh, Bureau Report, DD India.
Still to come on this edition of DD India News Hour. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio to visit Israel as part of his first Middle East diplomacy tour. Donald Trump says Europe losing freedom of speech, praises J.D. Vance's Munich speech. And Japan's Fukushima operator starts dismantling water tanks.
Clean energy is the future for sure. We are still not able to produce enough energy through renewable sources yet. But why is it so, and how can we change that?
We introduced solar-powered streetlights, cutting consumption by 5%. Then I had the government build green homes fitted with solar panels, making us more energy independent.
The panels contain a lot of rare commodities, and you can save a lot of energy if you use recycled materials.
We run off hydropower or wind power, so the electricity we have is sustainable and renewable. So of course that's the most sustainable we can do.
When it transforms and translates into results that is tangible, they can see the difference that it makes to their environment. It's a huge thing.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Let's take a look at the headlines we're tracking this hour. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi returns to New Delhi after successfully concluding his two-nation visit to France and the US. Hamas to release 3 hostages, including US-Israeli citizen, in exchange of over 360 Palestinian prisoners under Gaza ceasefire deal. Volodymyr Zelenskyy says Ukraine wants security guarantees and a joint US-Ukrainian peace plan in meeting with US Vice President J.D. Vance in Munich. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar highlights India's as democracy that delivers in a panel discussion at Munich Security Conference. All right, updates on Israel-Hamas conflict. 3 Israeli hostages are expected to return from Gaza on Saturday after Egyptian and Qatari mediators helped avert a standoff that threatened to sink a fragile ceasefire that has halted fighting for almost a month. Israel on Friday said it had received the names of 3 hostages to be freed by Hamas in exchange for Palestinian prisoners on Saturday after a crisis in the ceasefire threatened to plunge Gaza back into war. The 3 men said to be freed are Israeli-Argentinian Arhon, Israeli-American Sagi Dekel-Chen and Israeli-Russian Alexander Trufanov. It will be the 6th hostage prisoner swap since the ceasefire took effect on January 19. So far, 21 hostages and over 730 Palestinian prisoners have been freed during the first phase of the truce. However, the ceasefire had appeared dangerously close to collapse in recent days. Earlier, US President Donald Trump on Friday advocated taking a hard stance on Gaza, for which he has proposed a US takeover. Talking to media, Trump said he was not sure what would happen on Saturday when Hamas plans to release hostages, but promised a hard stance on Gaza. Trump had said this week that Hamas should release all Israeli hostages in Gaza by Saturday midday. Now, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio will visit Israel as part of his first Middle East diplomacy tour. During his 4-day visit from February 15th to 18th, Rubio will visit Israel, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. On the first leg of his Middle East visit, Rubio will arrive Israel late on Saturday. The US Secretary of State is expected to hold talks with Israeli PM Benjamin Netanyahu on Gaza truce. According to State Department, Rubio's engagements with senior Israeli officials will promote US interest in advancing regional cooperation, stability and peace. Rubio's visit will center on freeing American and all other hostages from Hamas captivity, advancing to phase 2 of the ceasefire agreement in Gaza and countering the destabilizing activities of Iranian regime and its proxies. Now, Saudi Arabia will host the leaders of 4 Arab countries at a summit on February 20th to discuss US President Trump's proposal for a US takeover of Gaza. The leaders of Egypt, Jordan, Qatar and the United Arab Emirates will attend the summit to take place ahead of an Arab League meeting in Cairo 1 week later on the same issue. Trump sparked a global outcry with his proposal for the United States to take over the Gaza Strip and to move more than 2 million Palestinians out of the territory, citing Egypt or Jordan as possible destinations. Donald Trump made the proposal during a visit by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to Washington. Arab countries have come together in a rare united front outrage by the idea of displacing the Palestinians en masse. US Vice President J.D. Vance and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy met for bilateral talks on the sidelines of the Munich Security Conference on Friday. As the leaders discussed strategies to bring the Russia-Ukraine conflict to an end, Vance pledged that Washington sought to secure a lasting peace in the region. The talks in Munich were seen as a key moment for Kiev as it tries to keep Washington on its side after Trump stunned allies by announcing peace efforts with Russian leader Vladimir Putin.
We had a number of fruitful conversations, a number of things for us to follow up and work on. And fundamentally, the goal is, as President Trump outlined it, we want the war to come to a close. We want the killing to stop, but we want to achieve a durable, lasting peace, not the kind of peace that's going to have Eastern Europe in conflict just a couple years down the road.
Whereas hailing the talks with the U.S. Vice President, Ukrainian President Zelenskyy said that Ukraine wants security guarantees and a joint U.S.-Ukrainian peace plan.
We are very thankful for American support. President Trump, we have good conversation today. Our first meeting, not last, I'm sure, and really what we need to speak more, to work more, and to prepare the plan how to stop Putin and finish the war. We want peace very much, but we need real security guarantees.
Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron on Friday said he assured his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelenskyy that it's Ukrainians alone who can drive the discussions for a solid and lasting peace with Russia. Macron in a post on X said, and I quote him, this is what he said: "I just spoke with President Zelenskyy. If President Donald Trump can truly convince President Putin to stop the aggression against Ukraine, that is great news. Then it will be the Ukrainians alone who can drive the discussions for a solid and lasting peace. We will help them in this endeavor, and we Europeans will need to strengthen our collective security and become more autonomous. France will fully play its role in accelerating this process." Whereas in an exclusive interview to an American channel, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said that Ukraine would have a very difficult time surviving without US's military support. The United States has sent mixed signals on its strategy, sparking worry in Kiev that Ukraine could be forced into a bad deal. Earlier, Kiev has requested NATO membership or equivalent security guarantees to prevent itself from Moscow, but US refuted the request and called it unrealistic. Now, US President Donald Trump said on Friday Europeans are losing its right to freedom of speech and struggling with immigration as he doubles down on criticizing traditional allies. Trump said Vance's speech at the Munich Security Conference was well received. His comments came after US Vice President J.D. Vance, speaking at the Munich Security Conference in Germany, accused European politicians of censoring free speech.
I heard his speech, and he talked about freedom of speech, and I think it's true in Europe. They're losing their wonderful right of freedom of speech. I see it. I mean, I thought he made a very good speech, actually, a very brilliant speech. Yeah. Europe has to be careful. And he talked about immigration. And Europe has a big immigration problem. Just take a look at what's happened with crime. Take a look at what's happening in various parts of Europe. I thought his speech was very well received, actually. I've heard very good remarks.
The United States Vice President J.D. Vance has taken aim at European countries during his first international trip, accusing leaders of rollbacks on free speech and migration policies. In a speech at the Munich Security Conference in Germany on Friday, Vance announced that the administration of President Donald Trump would mark a pivot in terms of U.S. relationship with its European allies. Vance accused European politicians of what he said was a fear of their own people and warned them that the real threat against their democracy was not from Russia or China. Vance said Brussels had shut down social media over hateful content and criticized Germany for posting anti-feminist comments, Sweden for convicting a Christian activist, and United Kingdom for backsliding on religious rights.
In Britain and across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat.
How many times must we suffer these appalling setbacks before we change course and take our shared civilization in a new direction? No voter on this continent went to the ballot box to open the floodgates to millions of unvetted immigrants.
President Donald Trump signed an executive order in the Oval Office on Friday, creating a new energy council to be led by Interior Secretary Doug Burgum that will seek to expand U.S. output of oil and gas. In addition, Trump said more than 600 million acres of offshore federal waters are now open to oil and gas development after Biden had taken them off the table. Also on Friday, Trump's administration said it has granted a liquefied natural gas export license to Commonwealth LNG in Louisiana. Trump lifted the freeze on LNG export approvals on the evening he came into office for a second time on January 20th. Trump said he was working on getting approval for the Constitution natural gas pipeline that would bring gas from Pennsylvania's drilling fields to New York in order to bring down energy prices in the region. Now, Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva on Friday said that there will be reciprocity if U.S. President Donald Trump decides to implement tariffs on steel imports. According to Lula, the response could involve filing a complaint with the World Trade Organization on imposing tariffs on U.S. products. The decision comes after Trump increased tariffs on steel and aluminum imports to a fixed 25% earlier this week, as Brazil is one of the major suppliers of steel to the United States. In 2024, Brazil sent 4.08 million tons of the metal to the United States.
Now, I heard they are going to tax Brazilian steel. If they tax Brazilian steel, we will react commercially, either report it to the World Trade Organization or tax the products we import from them.
Now, updates from Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, M23 rebels have entered Bukavu, the eastern region's second largest city, on Friday. The leader of Congo River Alliance, which includes M23 rebels, said the M23 rebels would continue the advance on Saturday. The rebels have been trying to push south towards Bukavu since they seized Goma, the largest city in eastern Congo, at the end of last month. The capture of Bukavu would represent an unprecedented expansion of territory under the M23's control since the latest insurgency started in 2022. The Rwandan-backed militants' progress comes despite international calls for a ceasefire and the resumption of peace talks. Now, the operator of Japan's Fukushima nuclear power plant began the process of dismantling treated radioactive water storage tanks to clear space needed to store nuclear fuel debris to be extracted from the reactors. The step is a milestone of a sort as Tokyo Electric Power Company TEPCO moves ahead with a decade-long project to dismantle the entire plant in northern Japan, which went into meltdown after it was hit by a catastrophic tsunami in 2011. Since the accident, TEPCO has stored around 1.3 million tons of water at the site, along with water used for cooling the reactors. The water is filtered to remove various radioactive materials but has remained inside more than 1,000 tanks that occupy much of the plant's ground. After removing the tank, the utility plans to build facilities to store highly dangerous molten fuel debris to be extracted from inside the reactors. Scrapping the water tanks became possible after TEPCO began releasing the stored water from the plant into the Pacific Ocean in August 2023. In Nepal's capital Kathmandu, more than 5,000 students of different schools from class 6 to 12 from 3 districts competed for monetary award on Friday under Swami Vivekanand Sanskritik Gyan Pariksha 2081 PS. The competition was organized in Tundikhel ground, where thousands of students took tests of 30 minutes duration and results were out in an hour, with award of NPR 51,000 as first prize, followed by 50 consolation prizes. Moving further, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar on Friday has expressed optimism over the direction of India's democracy at 61st Munich Security Conference in Germany's Munich. Dr. Jaishankar participated in a panel discussion on the topic "Live to Vote Another Day." fortifying democratic resilience alongside Norway's Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre, US Senator Elisa Slotkin and Warsaw Mayor Rafal Trzaskowski. During the panel discussion, Dr. Jaishankar spoke how the elections are conducted in India and mentioned about recent elections in Delhi and parliamentary elections held in 2024. At the conference, Dr. Jaishankar also participated in the Ananta Aspen session and shared India's thinking on global engagement, regional strategy and key bilateral partnerships. The theme of this session was Coming of Age, evaluating rising India's security challenges. On the sidelines of the Munich Security Conference, External Affairs Minister held a meeting with his Ukrainian counterpart Andriy Sybiha. During the meeting, Jaishankar and Sybiha discussed ongoing efforts towards the resolution of Ukraine conflict. The two leaders also spoke about further advancement of bilateral cooperation. Dr. Jaishankar also met Minister President of Bavaria Markus Söder in Germany and discussed economic and technology cooperation. The two leaders also held talks about the international situation. Dr. Jaishankar said that he looked forward to welcoming Markus Söder to India. Earlier, Dr. Jaishankar held a meeting with Germany's Defense Minister Boris Pistorius and discussed bilateral cooperation and Ukraine development. The Munich Security Conference will offer an unparalleled platform for high-level debates on the key foreign and security policy challenges of time. Now, Speaker of the lower house of Indian Parliament Om Birla on Friday constituted a 31-member select committee to examine the Income Tax Bill 2025. Bharatiya Janata Party MP Bajayant J. Panda has been appointed as chairman of the panel. The panel is mandated to submit its report by the first day of the monsoon session. The ongoing budget session will conclude on April 4 and the monsoon session may commence in the third week of July. Now, India's former President Ram Nath Kovind, citing India's rich maritime history of the Chola, Nanda and Maurya dynasties, has said that Indian Navy has made significant strides in self-reliance and has transformed from a buyer's navy to a builder's navy.
The Indian Navy has an instrumental role in the success of Sagar initiative through joint maritime exercises and anti-piracy operations, through humanitarian assistance and disaster relief missions, through capacity building and information sharing. Indian Navy has built a reputation of competence, reliability and professionalism. We have won the trust of the littoral nations in the Indian Ocean region, and many now actively seek us out as a security provider in the region.
India's Navy Chief Admiral Dinesh Tripathi cited the Sagarmala project launched in 2016 and Sagar initiative of PM Modi as pivotal to India's rise to a fully developed nation by 2047.
There is a firm acknowledgement in the highest echelons of national leadership that our nation's growth would be driven at, from and by the seas, symbolized by our Honorable Prime Minister's recent statement last month, and I quote, "Today's India is emerging as a major maritime power in the world," unquote. Blue economy endeavors such as Maritime India Vision 2030, Maritime Amrit Kal Vision 2047, Sagar Mala project, and focused thrust on maritime sector in this year's budget, especially, all point to a discernible nurturing of a maritime thought founded on India's vision of security and growth for all in the region.
Former Indian President Ram Nath Kovind and Indian Navy Chief Admiral Dinesh Tripathi were both speaking at the Vice Admiral K.K. Nair Memorial Lecture organized by the National Maritime Foundation. The event saw former Navy chiefs in attendance. The third edition of the Kashi Tamil Sangamam, an initiative fostering cultural and intellectual ties between southern India's Tamil Nadu and North India holy city of Kashi, will commence at Varanasi on Saturday. Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Dr. L. Murugan, and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath will inaugurate the prestigious cultural event. The initiative, organized by the Ministry of Education in collaboration with various ministries and the government of Uttar Pradesh, aims to celebrate and strengthen the ancient civilizational bond between Tamil Nadu and Kashi. For the first time, participants will get to witness the Mahakumbh in Prayagraj and visit the newly inaugurated Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. The 10-day-long event will conclude on 24th February. And now all the ladies from Mahakumbh, the largest religious congregation in the world. Around 15,000 sanitation workers will strive to create a world record today by participating in the largest synchronized sweeping drive at the ongoing Mahakumbh Mela in Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj. This comes in the backdrop of two remarkable world records created at the Mahakumbh on Friday. First, by becoming the largest event globally with over 500 million direct participants. The second is setting up a new benchmark for the largest ever synchronized river cleaning campaign. The initiative aims to highlight the core values of Mahakumbh by promoting cleanliness and environmental conservation while strengthening the message of collective responsibility to preserve the sanctity of key sites. Now, the Indian Railways will run Vande Bharat special superfast train from February 15 to 17 between New Delhi and Varanasi via Prayagraj. This is for the convenience of devotees intending to visit the Mahakumbh. Officials said the decision was taken expecting rush for the Kumbh Mela during the weekend. And the historic Vande Bharat Express refers to India's first fully indigenous semi-high-speed train, which was launched on 15 February 2019. The train marked a significant milestone in India's rail history. It was introduced on the New Delhi to Varanasi route, and the train was officially inaugurated by the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Vande Bharat Express was a symbol of India's self-reliance as it was developed entirely by Indian engineers at the Integral Coach Factory in Chennai. It is also known as Train 18 and is designed to provide high-speed connectivity between major cities with enhanced passenger comfort. And now, starting a business in a new country comes with challenges but also with big opportunities. The Indian Embassy in the Netherlands, together with the Eindhoven Indian Community Consortium, has recently organized the Entrepreneurs Forum, a platform for Indian origin entrepreneurs to connect, learn and grow. From taxes to business regulations, the event covered it all. Here's a report from DD India's Mark Limburg.
India and the Netherlands share strong business ties, and today the Indian Embassy is bringing entrepreneurs together here in Eindhoven. The Entrepreneurs Forum is all about networking, knowledge sharing and new opportunities. From government insights to success stories, this event is a hub for Indian origin entrepreneurs looking to grow in the Netherlands, and with a special focus on women-led youth businesses and innovation. It's a chance to connect, collaborate and make an impact.
The Netherlands is one of India's top trading partners and investors. A relationship driven by people-to-people connections and an ever-expanding vision for mutual growth. Platforms like today's forum play a vital role in strengthening this bond by bringing together creative minds, industry leaders, and policymakers to explore new frontiers of collaboration. I think this is very important because the Indian community that is here in Netherlands, they actually constitute a segment which is very well educated, they're highly qualified, and also because of the fact that a number of high-tech companies are based here. So this knowledge can be used to create very interesting, very useful collaborations between Netherlands and India.
Get your creative juices out and just try and create something which, makes you happy. It starts all with communication and language, making sure you can understand each other.
The afternoon continued with inspiring speakers sharing valuable insights on success for Indian origin entrepreneurs in the Netherlands. From Texas to the Chamber of Commerce, the sessions offered practical knowledge and networking opportunities. But what did the entrepreneurs themselves think of it?
I was surprised to know that there are a lot of organizations, NGOs are already established in the Netherlands who are ready to help the entrepreneurs.
There was one of the speakers, Mr. Vipin, who was on the panel. He had a very nice mantra for people who are wanting to build teams, where he said that you need to build a team which believes in the same dream as you. You need to be able to make them dream the same dream.
It's about being more open to feedback and making connections. I think getting that message today was very important.
Mark Limburg reporting for DD India in Eindhoven, the Netherlands.
All right, sports updates now. We'll start with cricket. Royal Challengers Bengaluru began their Women's Premier League title defence with a 6-wicket win over Gujarat Giants. Chasing a huge 201-run target, the Bengaluru team were reduced to 109 for 4 in the 13th over. Richa and Kanika put on an unbeaten 93-run partnership as RCB became the first team to chase down a total of 200 or more in the WPL. Tennis now. In Qatar Open, Yelena Ostapenko beat the 3-time defending champion Iga Swiatek 6-3, 6-1 in the first semi-finals on Friday. Ostapenko will face Amanda Anisimova in the finals, who stormed past Russian Ekaterina Alexandrova in the second semi-finals. Meanwhile, in women's doubles category, the team of Yasmin Paolini and Sara Irani will take on the pair of Shen Ye and Wu Fangxian in the final on Saturday. Well, that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.